Oh, it helps when I unmute my mic. Oh, that's too loud. That's too loud. How about now? Is that good? I can turn it up or down. But it's probably a concern if it's not muted. Hey guys. I forgot I had that muted when I was doing something else, and I forgot to unmute it. But we're all good. I wasn't saying anything really important. I was talking about my Horde alts, and their super cool transmogs. So, my Horde Druid, we're 104. I would like to get... I'm taking kind of a more relaxed approach to it this time. Now that they've changed it so you don't need to have reputations maxed out in order to unlock world quests, I'm kind of just doing whatever I want. And it turns out what I want to do is a lot of side quests. Not the fastest way to level, but I just like doing stuff when I see it on this particular character. So I'm trying to level as Feral, because Moonkin felt really slow to me last time I tried it. Now I have to say everything again. Alright, cool. So that's all good. Do I need this? I guess I need to send something out. I'm really paranoid about running out of order resources on any character that's not my main priest, just because order resources just seem to like really fall from the sky on my main character, because you get them doing world quests, or at least I have a couple things working together to give me extra resources on world quests, and you get them in emissaries and just like all the time everywhere. But on my PvP druid, up until recently, I had like none, and I was just trying to scrape together the 500 every 4 days just to get my artifact research rolling, and I couldn't do it. So I hoard them very paranoidly. So let's start at Skyhorn. Seems as good a place as any. I need to do all of the mainline story stuff in Stormheim so that I can get, or High Mountain rather, so I can get to the Nelth Lair thing, because the dungeon quests really are the fastest. They're like the biggest experience check you could really get your hands on. Hi from New Zealand. Love your channel so much. Oh, thanks, Sarah. It's summer there, right? Like south of the hemisphere, it must be summer. I'm a little bit jealous just because we're in the middle of some pretty gnarly winter weather. It's just Oregon, so it's not like super freezing. It's nothing really dangerous, but it's just been pouring so much rain that you step outside and you are instantly soaked. Yesterday at Thanksgiving, we went and we took our dog to a friendsgiving that our friends were having, and at home our door is it's weighted, so it like swings shut, so there's no real opportunity for animals to get out. But this particular door was a lot harder to close, and I guess somebody didn't close it fast enough or like left it open or something. I don't know quite what happened, but our dog that we brought with us actually got out, and our dog loves to go for like the best adventure he can possibly get his hands on when he gets out. So of course he just like books it into the distance, and a bunch of us end up like going looking for the dog, and it's like getting dark on Thanksgiving, and we get like soaking. I was just saturated with like really cold water almost instantly once I went out there. I had a rain jacket, so it was mostly my legs. I had very cold legs, but we got the dog back. He's back there. Look, he's asleep. He's fine. We found him, and he didn't know anything was wrong. Apparently he was just like, hey, what's up, you're right here too. But we got him back and all dried off, and then I had some very enjoyable hot tea and Pokemon last night, because we got home after Thanksgiving dinner and we were just like sitting there with our leftovers. We had to leave pretty early once we got back because we were like really wet with wet feet. We had like our Thanksgiving leftovers, and we had our little 3Ds of Pokemon and like warm blankets and hot tea, and it was really nice. Those are gaming glasses, yes. These are, they're not Gunners. I used to want Gunners, and I still kind of do, but these were a lot cheaper, and they work just fine. And I think they look fine. These are Gamma Ray, I believe is the brand. You can get them on Amazon. Hey, Hazel, hi from Canada. Hi, Raina. Why do you always wear glasses when you live stream? Yeah, they're gaming glasses. I have not only just the monitor lights, but I also have actual, like, umbrella lights, so that I don't look, like, if I turn my lights off, you can barely see me. It's very dark in this room. The overhead light doesn't really do anything. And they kind of get to my eyes after a while, so wearing the glasses really helps. It would actually probably be better if I wore actual sunglasses, but I'm not that cool. I am not ready to be that cool. All right. What would you say would be better, more fun to play, Monk, Windwalker, or Druid Feral? It depends on if you're raiding or PvP. For raiding, I mean, they're both good, and it's kind of whatever one you like the class fantasy of better, but I would say Windwalker for PvP, and then Feral Druid for raiding. I think Feral Druids are pretty strong right now in raids, and Windwalkers are very strong in PvP, and they're both strong in either or, but I would give the edge to Windwalkers in PvP for sure. Heading for a hot summer Christmas this time. You'd love to see this time of year in winter. Winter is great when it's like pretty winter, when you get like snow and, you know, frost in the trees and like that really cold winter sunshine, like really early. Winter sunrises can be really beautiful, but it's just been very dark gray and raining. Raining endlessly for a while now, and it means I get very wet when I'm walking my dog in the morning. I need to turn the music down just a little bit. It's just a little bit too epic for me right now. Alright, so I haven't done this for a while. He's calling me tiny creature. I am a full-grown adult troll lady, man. I sat down. I am a full-grown troll lady. I am not a tiny creature. You can only call me that when I'm on my gnome. So we're just helping Skyhorn out. The Drogbar are one of the threats. They're also afraid of harpies. That's fine. It's understandable. Feral Druid's a bit boring. She's constantly applying bleeds. I've been finding Feral Druid very bleed heavy, just leveling it. I'm sure you get more utility once you get to 110. Oh, I guess I already have all my talents. I guess 110 is just, like, you get enough artifact power to get more buttons, but this one is passive. That's passive. That's passive. Yeah, they're all passive, so I guess I already have all of the buttons I'm gonna have. And it feels like a dot class. Like, I'm used to playing Shadow Priest, so I'm very used to playing a dot class, and it feels very much like you apply your dots and then you keep them up. That's the thing that you're doing. But I like dot classes, so I don't really mind. It's kind of cool to have like a melee version of it. So we're putting out some fires. I don't know how we're putting out fires. Oh, I have wind. That's dangerous. That's a danger. Like, sure, just blow on it. That'll work out fine. It must be a very strong wind. I actually found feral leveling to be a little bit faster once I realized I'd been making like a pretty terrible mistake. For whatever reason, and I think I've done this before, I completely forgot to put my main artifact ability on my bar. So I was leveling and just kind of doing my thing with my rake and my rip and my shred and ferocious bite and whatever. And I'm like, you know, this is kind of slow. And it occurred to me, I had not once used Ashermane's Frenzy, which you can use not on every mob, but I mean it's a minute and a half cooldown, 1.25 minutes specifically, and you get that pretty often. So I had just been not using that at all, and turns out you do a lot more damage, especially against like boss mobs. It does quite a bit of damage, so that helped out a lot. It feels kind of gross putting any artifact power at all into Feral, because I know once I hit 110 I'm going to be going resto all the way, but it's so little artifact power, like you're just fighting for every 100 artifact power when you're leveling, and then you hit 110, you get some research, and you're just getting thousands and thousands of it, and it's no big deal. So I'd rather have the extra damage to actually get me leveled. Are you leveling with Resto Druid? Why don't you change to balance? I'm leveling with Feral Druid. I've done balance before. I leveled my last Resto Druid as balance because I wouldn't level as Resto. You can do it. They did change it so you do enough damage as a healer spec to get by leveling, but it's kind of masochistic. It's not great. It's pretty slow. But I'm trying it Feral this time. That's the cat, meow cat. You're aiming for PvP, so win marker is for sure, for sure. Hey friends, hello. Throw more dots. Wind is very dangerous for suffocation. Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, no, definitely Feral. I would like to have access to some of the different appearances, but I guess you don't really get that until later. Because right now I have to be a red cat. I'm pretty sure that you have to, like, regardless of your hair color, you are a red cat with the basic leveling artifact. You don't get to choose different colors until you actually unlock them. So we're, eagles. And then, I really do like, the first time I was leveling, I kind of undervalued these, bonus objective things because they take a while to actually complete, and sometimes you find yourself sticking around for an unusually long time just trying to finish them. And I thought that wasn't great, but then it's occurred to me they give order resources. And on my alts, not my main, but on my alts, I always end up so starved for order resources, especially if I want to be actually sending out missions. Like on my main Resto Druid in Alliance, I never ever send out missions anymore because I could get a little bit of artifact power, or I could just save all of that for artifact research and not have to worry about getting more of it. Now that I've actually started queuing a little bit of arena, I find it's a little bit better. You do occasionally get from the champion strongbox that you get when you win games. Sometimes you will get some order resources from that. That helps out a little bit, but there is no way that I'm going to be talked into doing dailies on anything other than my priest. And even on my priest, I don't even do my emissary stuff every day anymore. I let it stack up for 3 days and I do them all at once. Or, as is the case earlier this week, I let it stack up for 3 days and then I forgot. And I did it the following day after one of them disappeared. But in my defense, it was Nightfallen. I hate Nightfallen Emissary. The quests are so irritating. They have the worst quests in the whole game. And now the rep is done for me, the only real extra incentive for doing Nightfallen rep, or Nightfallen Emissaries, is that I think you can get the Fox Mount item out of the cache. And I don't have the Fox Mount item yet, but do I need a Fox Mount? Am I gonna ride it? I don't know. I have cool mounts. I have enough. So how are we doing? We need 4 more eagles. I gotta try and stay at least a little bit on track, just because I have a terrible track record for trying to level on stream and just getting nowhere. I'll get like 2 quest hubs done and completely run out of time. How far are you into raiding this expansion? We are 7-7 Heroic Emerald Nightmare, and that didn't take us very long. We are we're 1 of 3 Heroic Trials of Valor. We killed Heroic Odin. We did not quite kill Heroic Guarm, and we didn't get a shot at it this week because of Thanksgiving. We're most likely going to get Heroic Guarm next week. Heroic Heli is going to take us who knows how long, and then we don't do Mythic raiding. We have a fairly large roster on High Attendance Nights. Our roster gets close to 30 people, so, and we're not willing to bench anybody in order to try and do Mythic. So we're pretty much as progressed as we're going to get, aside from Guarm next week and then Heli whenever that happens. But Heroic Heli is hard. Their secret appearance looks amazing. The secret bear appearance, the Guardian Druid one, is so good. It almost makes me want to tank. Every now and then I'll go through a phase where I'll just be like, you know what is cool? Tanking is cool, because leveling tanking is actually quite fun. And I'll be like, you know, my guild's always looking for tanks. Everybody needs tanks. I could probably get groups really easily. I could do like the reward cache thing where you get call to arms, basically. I could get those. And I would just be like a paragon of stalwart, stoic bulwarkiness. I don't know. Every now and then it seems like a really attractive idea. And then I do it, and I always get the tank leveled up. I always finish leveling the tank. And then I actually started like trying to raid tank, and I'm just like, oh no, this is the worst thing. This is the worst idea I've ever had. It's the same thing. I go through that with healers every now and then as well. Every now and then I'm like, you know what's cool? Raid healing is cool. I should be a raid healer, and I try it. It's like, nope. Nope, 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 nope. If I am not competing on meters, there is no point to raiding for me. Ow, this all hurts a lot. Let's survival instincts. Let's heal a little bit more. I'm healing specs. I can take a swift mend. I might die. Don't expect me to not die. So we put dots, Tiger's Fury, another wall. Let's stun that one. He's got like a lot of health. More dots. All right. More Tiger's Fury. Oh, am I gonna live? I didn't actually mean to shift out of cat form. Then that was a mistake. Should I not stand in that thing? Is that thing on me or am I in it? It's hard to tell sometimes. Did you boost this character to 100? No. I had a lot of old, I had a lot of old, characters sitting around from past expansions. I used to level pretty obsessively. For pretty much all of Miss Pandaria, I did nothing but level. I didn't raid, I didn't PvP, I just pet battled and I leveled characters. And this was one of the ones I happened to level, and then when I needed a Horde Druid, I just looked for a Troll Druid, and I was like, you know, I'll just do this one. I have extras. It's not my only Troll Druid in that range too. I have one at 85, and I think another one at 90, and then of course my Tauren Druid, but I just picked one. I will probably get her a name change. I like having all my PvP characters named Hazel for like name recognition, I guess. Not that my name means anything yet, but one day when I'm really good, I want people to like zone into arena and see me and be like, ah, nah, it's Hazel. We lose. I mean, they'll never say that, but it could happen one day. Maybe I'll put in a lot of time to get really good. Hey there, Hazel. What's up? What are your thoughts on the WoW token changes incoming? I think they're good. They're going to definitely drive the price up, and I can see why that's frustrating to some people, but I'm really excited about the prospect of buying Battle.net Balance with tokens. And also, I capped out on the amount of WoW tokens they let me buy. I bought as many as I was allowed to a while ago, and they still won't let me buy anymore, so. Apologize if this isn't time. What is your opinion on the Ultra Tonk Battle Pet? I have not looked at it yet. So the Ultra Tonk. Let's take a look there. So let's summon him. What does it look like? Is he cute? So this is from Flame no, it's Cache of Innovation. Is that Flame Leviathan? I think it might be. I think I bought this one. I bought most of my Raiding with Leashes pets. So he's a neat looking pet. He's got Demolish, which is garbage. I never ever take Demolish unless I really need mech damage my idol. He's got Lock On, which is better. He's got Rocket. Boombot. Ion Cannon. Shotgun. Okay, so he seems very mech damage heavy, and he's missing Decoy, which puts him a little bit behind the Zeppelins, in my opinion. However, also he's health heavy, but with no Decoy. So he's trying to go for like a tanky position, but he has no repair, he has no Decoy. He's like a glass cannon, but with no attack. Because he's going to end up with 250 to attack and all this health. That's no good. I do think there's some potential with delaying attacks, like between Lock On, Launch Rocket, and Ion Cannon. you've got a lot of strong hitting single attack abilities that you can kind of choose when they're gonna damage. You've got that first use, second use thing going on. And that's kind of neat, but overall, I think that's probably not the best. It's probably not a great choice for a mech pet, especially if you don't have that many of them already. I don't really see any specific applications for him that you couldn't get done with something else. Like when it basically, if I'm looking for a tanky mech pet, you just take something with decoy, like one of the Zeppelins works great. And if I'm looking for a bursty mech pet, you pretty much go for the Iron Starlet. You go the wind up, supercharged wind up, and that takes care of the job. And then if you need like a peck damage mech pet, that's when you want to use like your Cogblade Raptor or your Clockwork Gnome with the turrets. Either of those are good if you need mech damage, but you need to have it in little increments as opposed to big hits. What server do you play, PvE or PvP? I do both. This particular character's on Thrall for Horde. I have Alliance characters in Lightbringer. Server doesn't matter at all anymore, really, ever. I play in North American servers. I'm on NA region, but you can group up with anybody from pretty much any server in your region, so I don't really see why servers are a thing anymore. I mean, I know it's a thing, but first time in your live stream, love your vids. Aw, thanks. You compete in healing down with your fellow raid healers. That's fun too. That is true. You can compete for healing on meters. And maybe the reason I never really got into that was I wasn't very good at it. Did I get all the eagles I needed? I know I did the world thing. I think I got the eagles. Let's go turn that in. Mimeron is what Ultratonk is from. Oh, okay. All right. You are engorged by pet battles. It's so much fun. That is an interesting choice of words. We'd love some new battle pets with all new abilities. Kind of the same old these days. They do seem to copy paste abilities a lot. And they'll have a lot of abilities that this is X ability in a flying type, or this is the same ability in a critter type, or they have a lot of that. But they also have made a couple of new abilities. You just have to really, they're kind of few and far between. So like, what was new? Was there a new one? I guess there isn't a lot new. I guess they just make different types of the same stuff and they'll put them in different orders. But I'm excited about these two. I want to get these two leveled up and try them in Pet Battle PvP, the Alliance Enthusiast and then Captain Murky in particular. I think it'll be kind of neat. Rate the zones best to worst. Val'sharah is obviously the best. If we're talking Legion Broken L zones, I am super into Val'sharah, probably because I'm really in love with the Druid class fantasy. Resto Druids in particular, and Val'sharah is just a very druidy, night elfy, pretty foresty zone. It's basically my happy place. I didn't end up putting this in my Pilgrim's Bounty video because I ran out of time, but I had like I was working on, and I never finished it, so I can't read it to you guys because it doesn't exist, but I was working on a poem, like a really cheesy poem at the end of 5 things that I'm thankful for in WoW. And one of them was Val'sharah for just being so darn pretty, because it's an in-game WoW happy place. Like, you can just get, maybe you're fed up with raiding, maybe you're frustrated at your guildies, or maybe you just like lost a whole bunch of battlegrounds in a row and you're just mad but you still want to be playing WoW. You can just like take your fishing rod and just go find a nice little place in Val'sharah and just like listen to the music and look at it, and it just makes me feel better. I find it very calming. So I would put Val'sharah at the top. I would follow that by... the other 3 are pretty even for me, to be honest. I really like Val'sharah, and I'm kind of indifferent to the other 3. The order has shifted a lot. I would, like when I first started leveling, I would have gone Val'sharah, Asuna, High Mountain, Stormheim. High Mountain and Asuna may have switched spots. I'm actually doing High Mountain second this time. I always do Stormheim last, not because it's a bad zone, but because it's, you'd think that High Mountain would be worse for this, but Stormheim's got some odd places where, I'm trying to get up cliffs. It's got a lot more hilliness than you would expect, so sometimes I end up being vertically challenged in Stormheim. Runeforged Servitor is pretty cool. You should take a look. I will take a look at that in a sec. You like the Black Claw with the Clockwork Gnome turret. Yeah, that's pretty good. If you can set that up with a Call Lightning, so you get that extra hit on hits, that's some good stuff. Runeforged Servitor is the ultimate substitute for Blackfist Bombling. You guys love Val'sharah? Yeah. It's a zone that I always kind of wanted them to make. They have beautiful Night Elf Druidy zones before. Like, you've got Feralos and you've got Teldrassil and, Darkshore to some extent. And Asuna's kind of an elfy zone too, but the thing about... Those are all very muted in colors. You get a lot of dark greens, you get a lot of grays, and it's just kind of like this misty, cool feeling place. And Val'sharah is very bright and colorful without being tacky, and it also has that really beautiful druid aesthetic. So I'm just a big fan. You like Val'sharah? Seen a High Mountain Stormheim? Yeah, I would for the most part agree with that. High Mountain's grown on me. The High Mountain music I think is really special, and then I think it's somewhere around here, but there's like a mountain you can climb in High Mountain, and it's just like my favorite. Like, I don't even know what's up there. I don't know why you would climb this mountain in High Mountain. Maybe there's a treasure or something. I don't know. I never found it. But every now and then I'll be trying to do a world quest and I'll just end up on that mountain and I'll end up running up it. I'm like, well, this isn't where I need to go, but it's just like the way the path kind of weaves through the mountain, you can just feel yourself going higher and higher, and the kind of views that you actually get on the top of the mountain now with the way Legion has extended draw distances. High Mountain's a really beautiful place, so it's really grown on me. You don't like High Mountain, you get lost. Yeah. That's, I think, the thing that turned me off High Mountain at first. I kind of had to learn my way around it a little bit. And it's the same kind of thing as Stormheim, but you have to sort of figure out where the stuff is and where to get on the road to the stuff. And realize that if you're trying to climb a cliff face, you're probably doing it wrong. I will say that there's still a bunch of world quests in High Mountain that I just can't find ever. Like anything in a cave or under a mountain, or there's a bunch of them that I'm just like, well, I don't remember how to get to that cave despite having looked for it a couple times before, so I'm just gonna not do that one. But that's the nice thing about emissary quests, is you can always find something else. That particular harpy seems to be having a bad day. I'm just gonna leave you alone. What am I doing up here? I am just killing harpies. Just any harpies. Oh yeah, I was gonna look at the Runeforged Servitor. I almost forgot. Runeforged. Okay, so we got Jolt, Wind Up, Supercharge. Oh, that's interesting. That's another Wind Up, Supercharge pet. That's good. But there's another one. Oh, he's got Call Lightning. Iron Skin. He's got a little bit better of attack. So, you don't really have a spammable ability. You can kind of spam Wind Up. But if you go like Wind Up, Supercharge, Wind Up, I guess you can Call Lightning. But if for whatever reason that doesn't kill it, then you're just boned because you have to Wind Up twice more to get another hit in. Or maybe you just go to the Call Lightning, Wind Up, Supercharge, Wind Up. But Jolt's got that 1 round cooldown, which means there's not really a spammable ability. But I think that's pretty good. He's got the same kind of thing going on as the Starlet. He does not have the same attack stat as the Starlet. That's the nice thing about the Starlet is you got the Wind Up, Supercharge, Wind Up, and you can have it with that 305 attack stat, which is a bit better than the 276 you're going to see with the other one. So he's going to hit a little bit harder with that. And then you can spam Toxic Smoke to do some instant damage to finish off the fight, or you could even take Powerball. So I think I still prefer the Starlet, but I haven't really tried this guy much yet. And there could probably be some applications. Like having Call Lightning is really nice. Because you get... Oh, that's the thing, actually, is... if you have the turn to set up Call Lightning, having that extra 25% mech damage would more than make up for the difference in his attack stat. Oh, hey, the Harpies respawned. That was handy. That was good timing. Good night. You love the Pandar and Earth Elemental as a battle pet. I don't think I ever really used that one. I got him for sure, but I don't know if I used him too much. I don't need to kill that lady. I don't have any quest for her. We just need to get Agara Death Song, who I completely missed. She was like way back there. And then just a couple more. Can I kill this one, or is it just gonna get stuck in evade? It's probably just gonna evade. I won't bother. We're just gonna sneak right past it. You think you're south of your map and you'll look and you're going north. Just because you're uphill doesn't mean you're going north. That's true. First week of your dude, you had to open your map to find your artifact place in the Dream Grove. Yes! I did that too. Like, I had to... Figuring out, like, in the priest... Like, I came for the Priest Order Hall. In the Priest Order Hall, you've got, like, your mission table in the middle. And then it's really... Like, you've got a straight shot to the really obvious place where you do your artifact weapon stuff. And then you just go, like, a little bit to the right and you've got your artifact research. So it's all kind of right there. You can see it all from one spot. There isn't really a vertical component to it. And it's very open. So kind of boring. Definitely not as pretty as the Dream Grove, but it's very easy to get to everything. And then you go to the Dream Grove and like, okay, so I know where my mission table is. And I've got portals like over here, but then there was like, the mailbox was like up one hill and you've got your thing where you spend your artifact weapon points is so tiny until you actually open it. It's just like a little seed on a hill. And trying to figure out where that is, and then, And then your artifact research is like a whole other place. And then you've got like the barrow den that you can get lost in. You're like, well, maybe something's in here. And then the answer is no, nothing's in there. That's just for quests. And yeah, Dream Grove is beautiful, and it's probably my favorite class hall. But it takes a good week to figure out where you're going in it. What's the best team you would have set so when people see your armory, they instantly know you mean business when it comes to pet battling? I don't think there is a team like that. I think that if somebody sees your armory, the thing that says to them that you mean business is having the fact that you have a lot of pets, because they can see how many you've collected, and they can see what level and quality they are. So if somebody looks at my pets, I have some random pets up here, because those are just from whatever I'm using. But they can look through and see that I have, 815 pets, and they're pretty much all rare, and most of them are level 25, and that might be an indicator. But the fact of the matter is that there's no one team fits all use for anything. You can't use the same team for every single fight. You're gonna have different teams for different strategies. So there isn't like one team that says I'm super cool and I know what's up, because you can use a team for pretty much whatever. Hey, did they put a 1-round cooldown on the frog kiss? I try to avoid using overly RNG moves just because I get really bothered when I get really bad luck with stuff like that. And then I can't really recommend a move like that with RNG for a video, because it just has such variably different, not win rates, but it'll do really well or not that well depending on if you got good luck or not. So I try to, for the most part, stick with abilities that have a 100% hit chance that do mostly the same damage. You can't always guarantee that, but I try. The Warlock Order Hall is the most confusing. I have not seen that one. There are quite a few class halls that I have never set foot in because I just haven't gotten around to leveling those characters. It takes so long to level. And of course now I'm being a silly goose and leveling a second of the same class I already have. But I've always needed a bunch of druids. Having many druids is important to me, and I need to have one on at least Horde and Alliance. So then I can PvP with anybody. I can PvP with people in Horde, I can PvP with people in Alliance. And then after I start doing that for a while, then I need like more on each side so that I have like different rating ranges. Like last season I had like my main druid, and then I had like an alt druid that I could play at like a couple hundred rating lower. Then I had a drunk druid that I could play at any rating, which ended up being more than that. That hood is going to be quite the upgrade. That'll be good. Alright, so now we kill the big kahuna. You've never done many pet battles, but you're keen to level a team to get through world quests. Top 20 pets to level for basic coverage. I could look into something like that. The top 10 pets for Legion video is basically that, but with it's pretty much exactly that, but with only 10 instead of 20. That goes over every pet that, like, basically the top 10 pets that come up the most frequently in my strategies. That's probably the place you want to start. Druid and Hunter are your favorite order halls, but Druid's a little better because you love El Shara. Also the new cat forms. The cat form's really cool. I'm on Thrall right now, Thrall US. But realms don't even matter. It's even hard to find somebody. Like you could even make a character on Thrall and come to this particular spot, and I might not even see you just because of the way realm shards work. Druid leveling, Feral or Guardian? Definitely Feral. 100% Feral. If you find you're dying a lot, you could consider going Guardian, but Feral seems to be getting the job for me. I think I like Feral better than Balance. Now let's pop a bunch of cooldowns here and get nothing done. So that's a bunch of dots. I thought I was out of range of that. Maybe not. We can just clip right through the bones there. That's fine. I occasionally will cap horribly on combo points and not notice it. I'm not really used to playing combo point classes. I haven't really played one since Priest. Since Mop Priest. Not Mop Priest. WoD Priest. WoD Priest had the Shadow Orbs. So don't crucify me if I sit on capped orbs for a sec. Okay. So that took care of that, and this guy very nicely came up to offer me my turn in so I don't have to go all the way back down. What a bro. Oh, did I put on my head? I don't know if I did. I did not remember to put on my new head. That's good. And damage dealt. Nice new relic. And I guess we just go home. I guess that was all he needed from me. I keep getting frost relics. I have this problem on my druid, actually. A Resto Druid, I'm pretty sure, has two... Actually, I can just check. I have one right here. You've got the 2 life relic slots. You've got 1 frost relic slot. And every week from my PvP items that you get from doing your 10 wins in each bracket, I just keep getting Cold Sweat over and over again, which is a Frost Relic. And it just keeps giving me the same Frost Relic over and over and over again. It's like, I've got 2 Life Relic slots. They're both like 840. I could really use some of this, you know, 860, 870 relic love. But no, just the one type of relic. Can't catch a break with that. What am I doing? There we go. It's artifact power. Do you want help leveling? No, nah, that's alright. The best Celestial Tournament pet? Between Chi-Chi, Zhao Yula, and Zuin. Or Zufu. It kind of depends, like, it's really hard to say the best pet because it's best pet for what? For PvP, for a daily, for a different daily, for all dailies? Like, it's really hard to just say. I would give it to either... Where's my Chi-Chi? I would give it to either Chi-Chi or Eula. Eula's very good because she's very fast. 3 of 5 outspeeds a lot of people. Celestial Blessing is really nice in daily battles, because if you put her first, you can get that off before she dies. Then you've got 3 rounds of half reduced damage, which is really strong. Life Exchange, very strong. Lift Off, always good. Emerald Presence, always good. And you've got a choice of damage here. Eula's big downside is that she has no health. She has 1200 health. She's very glass cannon-y. Chi-Chi's a little tankier. Chi-Chi's not quite as fast, but because he's flying, he gets that extra speed, and he does almost as much damage but with a little bit more health. And then you can sustain that health a little bit better with Tranquility and Ethereal. So I would say Chi-Chi is probably the best one. But I know a lot of people prefer Zufu because Zufu has Prowl. You could Prowl Feed and get like a huge heal. You can Prowl Bite. You could like Moonfire to set up the thing for Spirit Claws. Then you could Prowl Spirit Claws. So Zufu does a lot of damage. He also has a very high base attack speed. But he doesn't really have any more health than Chi-Chi. And he's not very fast. So you pretty much have to kill people with that hit. Otherwise they're gonna shred you. I think Chi-Chi is just a little bit more all-purpose. Would be better to check that one out. Okay. I will try and actually pull up a link for you. Let me see. Because it's confusing, because I made a top 10 pets in Legion and a top 10 pets for Legion. And they're different things. For Legion. So you want the one with the cow? I'm gonna drop a link in here. There you go, that's the one you want. You've always been a boom. Can you find it hard to be a feral in PvE content? You have to love rabbits. Yeah, rabbits are very multi-use. You can get good use of them in a lot of situations. You need to level something else though if you need another live stream skirmish. Somehow you do 2 Resto Druids and a ring would work. Yeah. I need a DPS alt that I can use for PvP. I'm not really committed to getting one anytime soon, to be honest, because I'm still working on trying to be the best Resto Druid I can be. But I have a lot of healer friends, and they're super cool, and I want to just hang out and play games with them, and I can't because I don't play any DPS. We can't even get on alts and do like really silly low-rated games because I am so awful, so horrendously awful at PvP DPS. It's a completely different thing and my brain just doesn't get it. I do terrible damage and I die and I lose my healer and I miss kicks. It's just not what I've been working on. But yeah, it sucks because I have so many healer friends and I can only really play with them in Battlegrounds. Problem of new heads not being able to set them as invisible. Yeah, having the Grand Expedition yak around so that you have access to that transmog mount anywhere, or that transmog NPC anywhere you can mount up is really nice. If you can save up for that and you don't already have it, I would definitely recommend it, but you can't get access to it everywhere, but it definitely helps. Alright, so, took care of that. I guess, I mean, I'm already down here, I may as well do the Spirit Walker Ebon Horn thing now. What add-on are you using that puts the checkmark symbol over my bag items? So that is, can I mog it? I'm pretty sure that's can I mog it. So that blue check mark is showing that I have that appearance saved to my collection, so I don't need to use it. The little X is this item is not transmoggable, because obviously you can't transmog your Hearthstone or eggs. That would be really silly. And then if it is an X, that means you have not learned that item and you need to put it on so that you can learn it. There's another symbol that we don't see here that tells you that you can learn this on another character. I think it's yellow, and that means you could, like, you can mail this item to one of your alts, and they could learn it, and then you can add it to your collection. And that's the Can I Mog It add-on. If you collect Transmog at all, Can I Mog It, and then Manar's Wardrobe Helper. No, not that one. I don't have a button for it anymore. But Manar's Wardrobe Helper, very good. So he's gonna tell me the story of Hull, and I wonder if there's still like a bunch of people here, or if this has calmed down at all. Hey Hazel, do you and your pets even lift Brill? What was the hardest pet battle you had in the serious clam? It is easy to solo. Hang on. Your sentence is confusing me. Do me and my pets even lift Brill? If so, what was the hardest pet battle you had and the serious clam? It is easy to solo pet teams with certain pets. I don't really understand, but I will say the hardest pet battle that I've ever done is the Algalon one. The Algalon pet battle was brutal. I tried, because you're not even trying to two-pet that one, you're just trying to beat it. And I tried a lot of strategies. I went through and saw what everybody else was doing. I tried to invent some of my own. I tried mixing and matching different parts of it. I spent probably 6-7 hours working on Algalon before I had a strat that I was comfortable enough with to say, this isn't just RNG, this will work every time. So definitely Algalon the Observer is probably the hardest pet battle. You definitely love Zao because he's so chunky and he's super loud. Zao is a cutie pie. They're all great. I wouldn't give any of them up. They're pretty cool. So I need Aerospark. I need some stuff. Okay. Is this stuff in here? No, it's like outside. That's fine. Chi-Chi tends to hide from the word celestial, by the way. That's very strange. You'd think that it would pull that up just because it pulls up the other two, or the other three. You put all your AP into Restored Weapon, but randomly got relics for Guardian. They were 875 and 860. Yeah, it's really annoying how that can happen. It feels like artifact relics are just like on different loot rules. And I know that like from World Quest you can get stuff for any loot spec, and it's just relics that are like specific to certain ones. Relics and trinkets. So it's kind of understandable that you end up with relics for different specs, but that happened actually in my priest. I remember my healing weapon was really far ahead of my shadow weapon for a long time until I got good shadow relics. It just happens like that. I don't have a question, but I love watching your videos. Oh, thanks. Top dungeon and worst dungeon. In Legion or just like overall? Because in Legion I am really not a fan of Vault of the Wardens. It's, like, don't get me wrong, it's not a bad dungeon. I don't like groan when I see it. But the second boss, what am I doing? I'm looking for, oh yeah, I buy the thing, that's right. She'll sell it to me. The second boss, so the Inquisitor, whatever his face is, awful. Especially when you're DPSing, just like trying to spin around to face the things, like all the ads, and it's just a really irritating fight. Even though it's not hard, it's just annoying. And then the last boss and like the trash with the lights, even when it's perfectly well managed, it's dark. I can't see anything. I don't know. It's a neat mechanic. I get why they did it, but I hope they never do it again. Do I have to kill this thing? I do. And then for favorite dungeons, I really enjoy, Thicket's a nice easy dungeon that doesn't take too long. Maw is like a faster dungeon, but I think I like Darkheart Thicket better than Maw. And also I really enjoy, Malfurion Throne Shade at the Shade of Xavius in Darkheart Thicket. Like, the voice acting is really funny. You know that feeling you're really a one-trick pony Thresto? You, like, don't even get yourself down about being like a one-trick pony. Like, you're just not spreading yourself too thin, that's all. You're just trying to get better at the one thing. And it's a lot easier to do when you're focusing on one thing. I try and come, like, I know a lot of top-end arena healers, they multi-class a lot. And, like, pretty much every top-end arena healer that was at... Oh, I went too far. Pretty much every high-end arena healer at BlizzCon was able to go, oh, I'm just on Pally now, and now I'm on a Mistweaver, and now I'm on a Restless Shaman. Like, they could play whatever. But those people have been playing for so long, and they put so much time into it. And for the average player, while you're still learning, you're gonna set yourself back quite a bit by spreading yourself out like that. Once you've gotten to a certain point and you're like comfortable at gladiator level ratings, then you can actually get a lot of benefit out of playing and practicing the different healers and the different classes, just because you're going to get a more intimate understanding of how they work, which lets you counterplay them better. But I think the impact is limited below that point, just because that's like, you're only putting so much time into PvP, and you don't want to, if you're spreading yourself out a lot, you're not really going to get a lot done. Okay, so, angry rocks. Also, the thing I need is way down there, isn't it? Can I just jump? I'm a cat. Cats don't take any fall damage. Alright, they don't take very much fall damage. They take reduced fall damage. I can probably just jump. It was down here, right? Yeah. Although this thing's mad at me now. Why you gotta be so mad? I'm just swimming. I'm just a cat going for a swim. How is that not adorable? Greetings from Iceland. Been a fan of your pet videos, pardon me, for a while. Cool. Greetings from Oregon to Iceland. Thank you for the add-on. No problem. You do apologize for the confusion. There is someone here called the Serious Clam. That's a very silly name. Oh, there is somebody here called the Serious Clam. That's true. Hi. I missed the name, so I didn't understand. The clam part really threw me off. Vault of the Wardens is like kill me now behind Violet Hold. Oh yeah, Violet Hold. I forgot about that one. Violet Hold is it's boring, and it was boring last time. I don't know why they felt the need to bring it back. It was never interesting. I understood why they did it the first time. They were trying that whole, like, one-room raid, and it's just not good. But you can kind of sleep through it a little bit, because you don't have to go very far, and because you're not, like, trying to walk around trash poles and not pull anything. You can kind of, for the most part, just sort of snoo through Violet Hold. So I don't mind it that much, because if I end up in it, I can just kind of do something else, and, you know, eventually it'll be over, and I didn't have to actually think about it that much. I popped my sprint way too late. I should have sprinted ages ago. Alright, so I think we get to do the cool vision thing now, yeah. Tell me more of Hohenheim. Greetings. Hey, Cafe Junkie. How have you been? Being a boomy during Glazer, you can barely cast. Yeah, Glazer's bad for that. Shadow Priests have the same problem where you have to stand still to do a lot of your damage. I guess I can actually just, like, I don't have to just camp a portal. I remember that was a big thing when this quest was, like, the only way you could actually do this quest when Legion first launched was just find the portal and just stand on top of it and spam your wild carve, and everybody else would be doing the exact same thing. And hope you got a hit in on mobs before somebody else killed them. It's pretty funny. The few hundred pets level 25, it's not as much of a worry when new pet battles and achievements come out, like Family Familiar. Yeah. Most of pet battling is about expanding your collection, and once you've got most things leveled up, or at least a good thing for every situation leveled up, you can pretty much adapt your collection to whatever. You don't necessarily need pre-written strategies. How did you decide what your main class is? I'm hopping between so many. Can never get any to endgame level because of it. Any recommendations? I used to do the exact same thing. It took me until mob. So I started playing in Wrath, like 2000 and what was that? 8? Yeah, 2008-ish. It was not until probably 2012, maybe even 2013. Probably a good 5 years of alt hopping. And I would get some of them to max level, but I wouldn't play endgame at all, because I'd be like, well, what about this thing? What about this thing? What if I was this kind of, what if I played this kind of warlock, or what if I did this? And I tried absolutely everything except for Death Knight, because Death Knight, I tried Death Knight a couple times, never really clicked with it. But I spent 5 years doing that before I had finally played everything enough to feel like I had ruled out the roles I didn't want to do. I realized I do not want to raid heal. I do not want to raid tank. So I only want a DPS. I do not want to be a melee. So that ruled pretty much all of that stuff out. And at that point I was able to kind of narrow down to what I wanted to play. And then I ended up having the main for PvE and then something different for PvP. So I don't really have any advice for you aside from figure out what role you want to fulfill. If you want to do PvE or PvP, if you want to be melee or ranged, if you want to be healing, tanking, or DPSing. And once you've kind of got it narrowed down, then you just kind of spend time on them. And you gotta figure out what class fantasy you like if you really like the idea of being like the warlock summoning demons and controlling them, or if you really like the being a Resto Druid, just like healing people by chucking leaves at them. Like, you gotta figure out what you click with. And it's okay to not know. It's okay to not know. You can still have fun and play WoW without having a main. There doesn't need to be an answer for that. But yeah, I've totally been there. And it's also okay to just pick something and let it grow on you. Sometimes you won't like something a lot at first, but maybe later you get more abilities for it. Maybe you get some artifact traits. Maybe you just see somebody else do something cool that you didn't think it could do, and that like triggers something for you. So it's okay to stick, like if you just want to do endgame and you're having a problem getting there, just like commit to something and just keep doing it even if you think something else is cool. It's very easy to get into grass is greener syndrome in WoW. So you can always try just committing to something just to get to endgame so you can actually do some raiding or whatever it is you want to do. Whenever something's coming towards me, it's like, just one more full moon. And I always forget to use them. I always forget to use my Boomkin artifact ability. It's probably why I was so terrible at leveling up Boomkin, is because I never remembered. I never remembered to actually press the moon button. Defend Malfurion. Sure thing, buddy. It's just, I'll stay right here. If they make it this far, I can kill them. When I started pet battles, your videos really helped when it came to fast ways of leveling pets, so thank you. No problem. In other games like MOBAs or RPGs, you always enjoy support, but you're not sure what to settle on. Been thinking Mistweaver Monk or Resto Druid. So, Mistweaver Monk or Resto Druid. If you are going to PvP at all, I would say absolutely 100% go Mistweaver. You just have so much mobility. You can just get around everywhere so fast that people don't really attack you, so it's a lot easier to learn. If you're looking at raid healing or dungeon healing, I would still give the edge to Mistweaver, but if you like Resto Druids better, they're also perfectly good for that. They're good for everything. You gotta just pick the one you think is pretty. you gotta pick the one that you think is pretty. It's really hard to say. I don't do the Mistweaver thing, but if I can go back in time to the point where I got really into Resto Druids, I would try and switch that to Mistweaver if I could, just because I'd be a little better off right now if I was a Mistweaver. And they've got really cool animations, because you have, like, they made all new monk animations when they brought monks in, so you can do all sorts of neat stuff. If all else fails, you can roll 1 to 12 and then / roll 1 to 3. That's true. You could just flip a coin. Hi, I'm Hazel. Hello, Skaterbun. I don't know if you're Hazel. Do you have, like, ID? You always remember to press moon because you're bragging to your guild about all the crits you could do. The young Boomy days. Thanks for the help. Always feel better when you're not the only one who can't decide what class to play. Yeah, it's a problem. They made them all look too cool. They made them all look too cool, and the fact that it's such a social game means that you're just like living your life, doing your dungeon on whatever class, and you're like, I'm gonna be a hunter, I have a cat. And then you look over and this guy's a warlock and he's got a goddamn demon, and you're like, oh man, that's cool too. And he's like casting spells, and it's way too easy to get sucked into what everybody else is doing. And it just took me a long time to get out of that. Druids for the win. Druids are pretty cool. I'm pretty into druids. I've been kind of slowly collecting druid themed clothing. I just want like every t-shirt that I can get that has a deer on it. Just because, I don't know. I like deer. Who doesn't like deer? They're pretty. I mean, I guess if you have a garden, deer like constantly getting into your garden and eating all your stuff, then you're probably not gonna like deer very much, but I'm trying out on my druid the doe travel form. I figured I would like it a lot because, you know, I'm a female druid. I don't need stag horns. I could have like a cute little doe, but sorry, my nose gets really itchy when I stream and I don't know why. This never happens to me at any other time. Like, I can record videos and I'll be fine. I can just sit at my desk all day. I can sit under the same lights. I can wear the same makeup. But for whatever reason, when I stream, my nose gets really itchy. I was saying something before I started talking about how itchy my nose was. Oh yeah, druid stuff. Deer. For whatever reason, the doe travel form, it just looks a little bit off. It looks kind of like they pulled it out of a Deer Hunter game. and then they put it in a well. Like, obviously they didn't do that. Like, there was art that was made for it, and it's pretty new art. But for whatever reason, the doe model reminds me very much of Deer Hunter, and that kind of turns me off. I might switch that up for a different glyph. I have the idea that you're Hazel. Other news, you're still sick and you've given up on life. Dude, have you been to see a doctor? You sounded so bad in Raid, and that was like 2 weeks ago. If you're not better by now, you should really see somebody. You're like 5% with it, maybe 6%. Yeah, you need medical attention. Have any of the new raiding with leashes pets caught your eye for pet teams apart from the Star Bunny? The problem with I should probably turn this in, huh? I'm done here. The problem with pets that are released after main patches where they introduce pet content is that I kind of already have the strats. Like, I get into a mode where I'm making my strats for everything, and I sort out what the best thing I have with the stuff I have. And then once I have a strat, I don't really go back and look at it much later. Like, I just set it up in rematch, and whenever I approach that tamer, it auto-loads my team, and I just do it, and then I'm good. So even if another pet could do it better or faster or whatever, I don't always notice, because I'm pretty much just pet collecting after that point. I need that ring. So I need to go kill Tichondrius, no big deal. So while all of the raiding with leashes pets are really cool, I haven't really tried a lot of them because I haven't really needed to. I haven't even leveled most of them, you can see. I do like me a good whelpling. But I kind of already have everything that I need. I'm glad travel farms 100% again, makes flower picking more efficient. I like that you can have somebody on your back in travel form without needing a specific glyph for it. You used to need to take a glyph for that was exclusive with the travel form speed, and with pretty much every other travel form glyph in the game. And used to have to take the glyph for it, but now anybody can just hop on your back if they're in a group with you, and you can just carry them around, and that's always really fun. You have bronchitis, all you can do is take your medicine, try not to cough up an organ. Yeah, just take it easy. You like to shoot and eat deer. Everybody needs a hobby. If you had to only pick one battle pet to always use, probably the Anubis Death Idol. I think he's probably the most the best all-purpose pet that I can think of off the top of my head. Okay, so we get a nice ring. It upgrades, which I appreciate. Thank you very much, RNGesus. And then we throw that on instead of the 700. Meet him at the Southern Bluff. Sure thing, buddy. These guys have such cool horns. Why can't I have those horns on my travel form? Like, that's the good stuff. That's where it's at. Real talk, the Marigar pet is the best one. Just yells Bone Storm. That's true. I've heard that he does that. I haven't actually experienced it. Let's pull him out for a little bit. Let's hang it with our Bone Shard for a while. Well, he doesn't do when I click on him. I do have game sounds on, but they're very quiet, so I might have to turn them up a little bit. Also, this guy, you probably want drums, huh? I can probably get your drums for you. I know this quest is a huge waste of time, but I mean, maybe I'll just get it in over time. Like, every time I run by Thunder Totem, I'll just grab another drum. Do you think the game has too many pets now and it's overwhelming to start collecting? An endless grind of nowhere since some of them are not even obtainable? Yeah, I mean, I'd rather them continue to add pets, and obviously they can't take pets away, so it's kind of a hard problem. I wish when they had first introduced pets, and they introduced wild pets, that they had not had so many carbon copies. Like, there's no reason to have 6 different types of snails that all have the exact same moveset that maybe come in different breeds. Make one snail with that one snail moveset, and that will be snail. And then maybe you can catch it in different breeds, sure. If you want different breeds of snail, you can catch the same kind of snail. Maybe you can even catch it in different colors, but I don't see why there needs to be 6 listings in the pet journal for snail. And that's a problem you can't really fix anymore. You can't really go back and get rid of everybody's old snails. But it's rampant through a lot of the original wild pets that they added to the game. They just have so many copies, and I'm okay with copies when they have different movesets. Like, you've got the Frost Fur Rat has a different moveset from your regular old rat pets. And that's great. You can use those for different things. They're distinct pets even if they have the same model. But all of these copy pets I think they didn't need to do that, and that's kind of created this problem where you can get like 800-900 pets now, and that's really overwhelming, especially once you've gotten to, I think it's pet battles collect. So 600. Once you get to 600, you're done. They will not give you anything else. You get Stormwing, and there are no more achievements for getting more pets, even though you can collect another 200 plus on top of that. They haven't added one for a long time. So yeah, I understand how it would be overwhelming for somebody to catch up, especially if they're just trying to max out their collection. And like you said, a lot of them are just not obtainable. So it's not great, because, you know, completionist people are going to really want to complete everything. I think what they could do is if a pet is not obtainable, they could remove it from the journal. Like, have it still be in the journal if you have it, but if you don't have it, just take it out of the journal so people don't have to see that, hey, I don't have this dragon from Ikoke, China that I never could have gotten. And they've done that in other situations. There's achievements in Feats of Strength that you don't see them until you have them. And that's not a problem, and I would prefer that. I think Wicked Soul is tier 1 for PvP pet battles. Oh, that's neat. What is it? What's Wicked Soul got going? Wicked Soul, Shadow Shock, Ghostly Bite, Agony, Haunting Song, Curse of Doom, Haunts. You've got all the same type of move. Haunts good. Haunts good for sure. And then you've got an AoE heal. And then you've got, yeah, I could see it. He's gonna be really fast, I think, which is a big thing for PvP. That speed's gonna come in really handy. He's kind of squishy, but with the undead, you get that extra turn. When did you get the Zookeeper achievement? What's the Zookeeper achievement? When did I get it? Zookeeper. I got it in 2014, apparently. Pet Safari achievements, yeah. That one's you just kind of end up with that once you're looking for all the pets you can get. Too many spiders. There's a lot of spiders. There's a lot of moths. There's so many moths. Like, even if you don't look at the ones that have different names, if you just search moth, like, look at this garbage. Look at this. All right, some of these are moths, but there's just so many, and a lot of these are just identical. Like, there's probably no difference between a red moth and a garden moth, aside from maybe the breed. Like, they have the exact same moves. They have the exact same model. They have the exact same colors. This was unnecessary. This was not needed. Coven Attackers. I don't usually do this quest series, I don't think. Maybe I do. I don't know if this... I don't think this is main storyline. But I will... I don't usually say no to flinging some bolas at harpies, so... You wonder how arachnophobes deal with WoW, honestly. Spiders... Giant, big spiders have been part of WoW since vanilla. You can go questing and leveling in Tears Fall Glades, and even back before they redid the zones, there's just this huge spider cave where you just got these massive spiders, and you just run into them right away. So I'm sure somebody that's got that much of a crippling spider phobia, they either know the areas of the game to avoid, or they've given up on it by now, because people have been able to get spider pets since they added companion pets. One of the earliest companion pets that they added was the spider... I think it was a smolder web, maybe? Smolder web. Yeah, so this thing that drops in Lower Blackrock Spire, that has been there for a long, long, long time. So people have been able to summon and carry around battle pets and even blow them up with pet biscuits forever. So people have had to learn to either deal with it or quit. I did see a thread when they first introduced the spider mount that you get for like 2 million gold. There's a thread of people saying, well, you know, like, I'm an arachnophobe and I have guildies and they're going to harass me with this, and this is reducing my quality of life, and this is going to make me quit WoW, and this is just the worst thing ever. And I feel like if you had a guildie that was, I mean, it's quite possibly true, but if you had a guildie that was a terrible enough person to want to harass you about one of your phobias, they probably, I mean, first of all, don't tell people your phobia if you think they're going to do that. Don't share if there's any chance that it's not a safe place to do so. But second of all, they could have easily pet biscuited a spider pet long before they introduced the mount. So yeah, it sucks, but you can't sanitize the game for everything. Spider critters running around everywhere, lots of spider bosses, spider hunter pets. Yeah, there's a lot of spiders in this game. You want moths? Take 50. I have to wonder if there's somebody that works at Blizzard or in pet design anymore that's just like loves moths. Just like you go into the home and there's just like moth decorations everywhere, and there's just like moth art and like a moth themed wardrobe or something, and they're just like, you know what's really cool? Moths. And that's how they ended up getting so many of them into WoW. It's just a little bit silly. You'd fuck with about half the guild of Spider-Mans if you knew anybody was freaked out by spiders. Yeah. Yeah. That's why if I had any crippling fears, I would not tell you because I know you would try and bother me. You're asking my friend with the rat mount from Underbelly, he hates it? Yeah. That's how people work. Am I not done this quest yet? I need to kill another 5 of these. I must have terrible aim. I've been here for a long time. Am I even close to getting a level from where I started? Oh, there we go. Oh, no, that was only 40. Darn it. I need to use the fire one more often. It's clearly far more effective. There we go. That's the stuff. So I'm like halfway to 105. It feels like leveling is going to take forever, but I'm not super upset about it just because I know in 7.1.5 they're implementing the artifact research catch-up where you can just spend artifact power. Or sorry, order resources. You can spend order resources and get artifact knowledge up to 15. And that's coming in 7.1.5. So I don't see a big reason to get leveled up before then, because I'm just going to be lagging behind artifact power anyways, and I don't desperately need, I'm not in real desperate need of the second druid. Like, this is just for horde PvP, and I have my alliance druid pretty much ready to go, so I can practice PvP in alliance. The time when I'm going to need this is when I get so deeply into arena that I want to do more of it, but I can't find teams because only 30% of the PvP population is on alliance right now. I actually looked it up on Arena Mate not too long ago, and there is a 70-30 split Horde Alliance. 70% Horde, 30% Alliance on the Arena ladder right now. So there's definitely a majority of players that are Horde, but I'm sure I'll be able to find games. I've already got a couple people to play with. We've been doing some TSG lately, which has been kind of fun. I'm so rusty. I can feel myself just buried in like 8 inches of rust. Just trying to claw my way back out and remember how to play and remember how to... The big thing that I think I lost was I had made real progress in expanding my game awareness last season, and it's all gone. I am so panicked and distracted, and I look at a health bar and I don't notice what somebody's casting, or I look where somebody's standing and I don't notice somebody's health, or I look at somebody's buffs and I don't notice somebody else's debuffs, and there's just so many things to try and keep track of that I'm just not on top of it right now, but I will be. It's just practice. You practice checking on everything, and you practice staying on top of the important things, and you figure out what things you need to stare at, what things you don't, because it's very easy as a druid, or as a healer in Arena, to get into the habit of... I'm looking for drums and I'm not finding them. It's very easy to get in the habit of, oh my god, this person's at 40% health, they're taking a lot of damage, I need to stare at them to heal them. When the fact of the matter is, you have these preset, rotation basically of buttons that you are going to use to heal that person. No amount of damage that person can take will justify you pressing any different buttons. Maybe you want to give them a cooldown when they hit X% health, but more likely you want to give out a cooldown when an enemy player uses something, so you're not really watching health for any reason other than, oh god, oh god, oh god. So you kind of end up in the situation where you need to look at the health, understand that you need to use your high throughput healing rotation as opposed to your low threat healing rotation. And then you just need to start pressing those buttons because you know what they are, and look at something else. Even though it's really stressful to look away from somebody's health bars when they're really low, you don't need to be staring at them because it's not going to affect any of your decisions. So you just need to kind of, well, and by you I mean me, because I'm really terrible at this. I tunnel vision terribly. But I need to recognize when I no longer need to be staring at something so I can do checks on where's everybody standing, where's the mage standing, what are the casting, what's the healer casting, what cooldowns do we have left, what cooldowns do they have left, when are their cooldowns coming up, what do I have for that, what do my teammates have for that, do we need to pull back or can we go offensive right now? Like, it's just a matter of staying on top of that kind of stuff. Counterspell and moss are so annoying. Counterspell's pretty good, yeah. Have you got any legendary yet? I have one legendary on each of my characters. So my druid, not this one actually, my horde druid, or sorry, my alliance druid, pardon me, that's been leveled up. What am I looking for? Drums? Mountain striders. I'm not finding any of this. I just need to go level somewhere else. Wrath shard and amber shards, that's fine. My alliance druid got a legendary out of a battleground box. I actually had it on stream. One of the stream VoDs has me getting that legendary. And then my horde, or my alliance priest, got my first legendary out of a mythic plus cache a long time ago. I don't have 2 legendaries in anybody, I just have 1 on each of them. I feel like the drop rates of legendaries are very high until you get 1. You're pretty much guaranteed to get your first one relatively early. Not super early, but if you've been playing for like months and you don't have 1 legendary yet and you're doing lots of legendary eligible content, then something's wrong. Favorite pet? Big fan of the coastal sandpiper. Look at him, Bone Storm. Coastal Sandpiper, this little guy. Coastal... I named him Cheap Cheap. He's not even good. He actually sucks. He has Sandstorm and then Flock, because that's a great idea. And he's a flying pet with a move that slows them down. Quick Wild Wind's also no good with Sandstorm. And you've got like Peck or Quick Attack despite you being a flying pet. He's terrible, but he's so cute. I hope they use that model for more. I wouldn't actually mind having some more recolors of that. For some reason, Druid campaign seems to take longer than the other classes. I did kind of notice that. The Priest one was over with a lot faster than the Druid one was. My pet is made of adventurer bone. I'd be alright with that. He can be made of adventurer bones. What if he was made of the bones of the pets of adventurers? Because he's just a little version, so he just takes all their battle pets. Bones. Not completely related, but mildly related. I've been playing Pokemon Sun and Moon, and the Pokedex entries for all of these Pokemon are really dark. Like, they let somebody who has some pain in their life write some of these things. And it's just shocking because normally Pokemon is very, I mean, it's a children-oriented game series. It's usually very sanitized. I am getting my butt kicked here. Am I not supposed to be fighting that guy? He's 104. I'm just doing this wrong. Oh, he's gone. What just happened? This is what happens when I try and quest the stream. I don't understand anything that's happening. Add-on that shows pet breeds. A bunch of them do it. I think right now, Pet Journal Enhanced for sure, and then I think I have... No, Pet Tracker Breeds is disabled right now. Do I have an add-on showing breeds right now? I must. No, actually I don't. Pet Tracker Breeds module is pretty good for that. It'll tell you what breed you have. Hey Hazel, how was Thanksgiving? Sorry I couldn't make it. Dude, we waited for you. We had, like, I made some bread, I set some aside for you, we held some pie, and we're just like, man, he's gonna be here any minute. And he didn't show up. We all cried. Paladin has a quest for Bloods or something, but it was 5 of them, that wasn't so bad. Yeah, they sped up the completion rate of the Class Order Hall quests or the Class Order Hall missions, rather, that are related to the campaigns. That was pretty good. Where the hell am I going? I need to kill more of these things, which is fine, but I think I also need to get a boss. I'm gonna get the boss, then work my way back out that way. I always like to go get the boss first, because I always end up killing way too many things on my way back. So if I can do the boss early, then I can guarantee them not killing so much overkill. Gengar is messed up. Should you feel yourself attacked by sudden chill? It's evidence of an approaching Gengar. There's no escaping it. Give up. Yeah, I don't remember. There was a couple of them that... Oh yeah, the Slowpoke one was just like Slowpoke tail as a delicacy on some islands in Alola. It didn't even say that the terrible bad people steal Slowpoke tails to eat. It was just like, they're really yummy. They're crunchy and delicious. And it's like, that's your buddy. Don't chop off his tail. We got real mad at Team Rocket for doing that back in Gen 2. But I've been really enjoying them. I want more time to play them. But my problem with playing Pokemon is that I get really tired. I get really sleepy. I don't know exactly why. I think it's just because when I'm on my computer and I'm staying up late, it's really easy because I'm usually staying up late either doing WoW PvP or I'm playing Overwatch, and both of those are kind of high adrenaline activities, and they just keep me awake. But when I'm playing Pokemon, I'm just like all relaxed, and I'm like in a warm sweater, like under a blanket on my couch, and what I do is we put on, you can watch the Pokemon anime, like the old version of it, and I think a couple of the more recent seasons, you can watch them on Netflix. So we'll put like the Pokemon on Netflix while we're playing Pokemon on the couch. And it's just like such a relaxing, quiet, warm, nice thing to do that I fall asleep within like 2 hours of doing it, regardless of when I start. So we can start playing at like 9 o'clock, or like 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock. And by 9 or 10, I'll just be like, is it bedtime yet? And he's like, honey, it's 9:30. And I'll be like, no, it's not time yet. But then if I get up and I like go play Overwatch to like kill half an hour before bed, I suddenly would end up staying up until like 1 or 2 because Overwatch keeps me awake. Arena keeps me awake too, which is a real problem because my slot basically to play Arena every day is after dinner, like sort of 7 to 10. And I always end up going over that. Or even if I get off at 10:30 to get ready for bed, I'm so awake. Like it just lights me up and I can't sleep right after doing Arena. It's a problem because I can't play during the morning unless I like seriously rework my schedule, and I'm always most productive in the morning, so it would be kind of dumb of me to like take that time for PvP. I was really confused why Skaterbun was identifying himself so much, but then I realized he was probably talking to Pass. Where are you from? I'm from Victoria-ish area on Vancouver Island in British Columbia, Canada is my origin. I am no longer there. I left Canada a couple years ago to come to America and get married. But I'm Canadian. I'm from the West Coast. And I'm still loving the West Coast. I'm just in Oregon now. Good PvP add-ons for Death Knight. I don't know about Death Knight specifically because I don't play one, and I only PvP heal, but basic add-ons just for learning. I do think it's important to have some kind of arena enemy frame add-on. You can use Gladius. S-Arena is one that I've been trying out lately that just gives you like really more noticeable cast bars and stuff. So those are good. And then Omnibar, very important. Omnibar will let you track enemy cooldowns, lets you track enemy kicks, lets you track like when their stun's coming up, when their damage is coming up, whatever. So Omnibar, and then Gladius are kind of like the basics. A lot of people will swear by Gladiator Losa, which is the one that actually verbally says what things happen. So when a mage is trying to poly you, it goes polymorph, polymorph, polymorph. And while that can be good, especially if that kind of thing's getting by you, there's a little bit of a delay on it. So I had to turn mine off because I wasn't avoiding stuff fast enough because I was finding out about it late because I was relying on Gladiator Losa to tell me stuff. But that's also a good stepping stone for learning stuff like that. Ah! Why does this hurt so bad? Oh god. Can I just sprint away and heal? I'm doing something horribly wrong with these mobs out front. There has got to be something I'm not doing right because those are just kicking my ass and I don't know why. Howdy, Inopinatus? I'm too sleepy to say her name. Inopinatus. Thoughts on the Clefairy Gengar fan theory? What is the Clefairy Gengar fan theory? I have not heard of that, and I don't know what that is. When you get to 110, you can help me gear if you like and watch your videos. We consider as thanks for the entertainment. 884 enhance. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll probably be doing streams of a similar kind once I'm ready to start gearing up. So I'll definitely keep an eye out for that kind of thing. I don't usually. Oh, I need to kill some more of these things. I haven't. Most of my emphasis, I think, once I hit max level, is honor talents. Those are the real kicker. Because gear kind of happens as you're getting your honor talents, and gear is less important than having all your buttons. So honor talents are gonna be the thing that I really need. And I actually have a couple of friends that have already volunteered to carry me through some skirmishes or whatever. But I'll see what I need. You bought Overwatch for fun on the sale they have now. I was trying to do it last week when it was free week. Yeah. If you're not already on to Overwatch, you don't have like a really good reason why not to play it. Overwatch is just the best. It's just such a fun game. I'm gonna die. I am dying horribly. There we go. Swiftman heals for a lot, which is really good. Overwatch is so fun. I wish I had more time for it right now. I haven't played it the last week or so. Pretty much since I got back into WoW PvP, I can't do both. I can play a lot of Overwatch, I can play a lot of WoW PvP, but I can't do both. It's too much for me. But it's just so fun. You don't have to be good at it. You can just like play some quick play at the lowest levels, and if like people are pissing you off with the things you say, you can just turn off all the chat and then just do whatever you want and have fun. And you don't need to have any aim. Like that was the thing I was really worried about. I am still not done this yet. For heaven's sake, I need to kill 2 more. Overwatch was my first shooter, so I had no aim. I had previously always been made very motion sick by first-person games, particularly with first-person shooters, so I didn't really have any hope for being able to play Overwatch. And definitely no experience with anything like that, so I was prepared to be just like garbage level awful. But they've made characters that don't need aim. You don't need to be fragging people on every single character. Like you can play Mercy and just like aim at people vaguely and click on them and you'll be healing, and that's great. And there's a bunch more characters that are kind of like that, where aim is not a central part of their gameplay. It's just so fun. The characters are so good, and the environments are so good, and the story is just kind of interesting, and everything's pretty, and I still need to kill 1 more of these Wrath Shards. Darn it. Thanks for murdering my nickname. I'm sorry, I tried. Gengar are Clefairy ghosts. Okay. Well, what about, how do you explain them evolving from Ghastly and Haunter, then? Swiftman saves lives. It does save lives. What do you like to play as in Overwatch? You absolutely love playing Mercy. You got Plat this season? Nice, yeah. So for Season 1, I was definitely Mercy mating it up. I'm pretty much support main. I will play the occasional tank character, but I pretty much just do tanks and supports. If somebody makes me play DPS, it's really bad. So I have more hours on Mercy than anything else, but in this most recent season, I started to put a lot of time onto Ana because I really like everything about her. And the reason I'm not super good with Ana yet is because she's very aim heavy. But I try. And yeah, Ana's probably my favorite right now. Actually I think it already went in. Her Nano Boost nerf went in, so you no longer have increased speed with Nano Boost. There we go. So I don't know how good she's gonna be then. Mercy's like my first love, but I wanted another option because you can't always get the hero you pick. And then of course I could always play a Lucy or a Zenny if we needed a different healer. And those are both kind of fun, but all about that Ana and Mercy. You started with Halo, looking up into the corner. You have a friend where I'm from. That's cool. You started with Halo, looking up into the corner. I've missed some context. I don't know what you mean. Hey Hazel, love your jacket, jumper, cardigan, whatever you call it. This is my grandpa sweater. I ordered it on Amazon for really cheap, for like $12 from China like months ago, and I completely forgot that I'd ordered it because it was like free shipping from China, so of course it was gonna take ages. It's like really boxy and ugly, and I love it. It's got pockets, and it's just like a billion sizes too big for me. And that's like the nice thing about winter sweaters. You want them to be like really big. It's just long enough to cover my butt so I don't feel bad about wearing it with like leggings. And it no longer smells like crayons. It smelled really strongly, pardon me, of my mic. It smelled really strongly of crayons when I first got it, for whatever reason, but after it aired out for a day or so, it didn't smell so bad. And it's like warm and woolly, but it's not scratchy at all, and I love it. It's not flattering at all, but it's I feel like there's a ghost of a person that loves me, and I put it on and it's like they're giving me a hug. Ghastly and Haunter are the Clefable coming back from the spirit realm, comes back in a final form. That's a pretty far-fetched theory you've got there. Horde used to be so cool, Hazel. I have no love for Horde, honestly. All of my merch, I've got multiple Alliance shirts. I have no Horde merch. Alliance is where my heart is at, but Horde is where the PvPing people are at, and I kind of want to PvP. Kind of want to fight people, you know? Also, trolls are cool. Oh, I got a belt upgrade. Trolls are cool. I didn't want to be a Tauren anymore. I decided to be troll. Alright, so what are we doing now? I don't want to do the Mountain Strider thing, and I don't want to do the drum thing. I'm tempted to abandon those, but we won't do it. Secrets of High Mountain. I think we're ready for that now. It looks really comfy. It is really comfy. What I really wanted was, oh, I can actually... Mountain Striders. For whatever reason, when it said Strider, I thought it was gonna mean, like, you know, Forest Striders, or like the Spring Strider, like the little birds. It did not connect to me that they wanted moose. I can round up some moose, that's fine. Yeah, so what I wanted was a fitted cable knit sweater that was like butt length with buttons. And I went shopping and I went into all the stores. And all they have are these sweaters that are like, you know, they're tunic length, and that's good. And they're cable knit and chunky, and that's good. But they don't have buttons. They don't even close. You just have to clutch them around yourself like an anxious old lady because they can't put buttons on them, I guess. They don't want to figure out how to make them fit. And I'm sad because I just want like a fitted one. And this one, it's not exactly what I want because it's very loose and boxy on me. And while that's still cute, I really wanted one that was just like a slim fit but really long, chunky cable knit sweater. But I just can't find one. They just don't exist. Not with buttons that'll actually fit me. And it needs to have really long sleeves, too. I appreciate the cooking video. Quickly cleared up all your questions about that silly panda. That panda is he's such a silly goober. He's been a little better about figuring out recipes lately, but I kind of gave up on him. My raid just kind of gives me food, so I just kind of show up to raid and I go, T-Step, you got any haste food? And he gives it to me, and then I just don't bother cooking. But I do try and donate enchanting mats sometimes, so it evens out. Ally for PvP. Horde for PvP. Horses. PvP on horses. Yeah, no, I totally get you. I miss PvPing on Ally. I really enjoy PvPing on my Night Elf Druid. Shadow Meld is a very powerful ability in PvP, and it's just really fun. Like, especially because I've been playing with adaptation lately, so what'll happen is a Druid will find me, and they'll bash me and try and clone. And my adaptation gets me out of that bash, so, like, I then... How do I put this? So my adaptation gets me out of the bash, and then I, like, start cloning them, or I bash them, and they either trinket it or they meld. But it's okay because I also have meld. So when they start cloning me after they've melded, I still have my meld, And because of, I don't know, because they went, I've lost, I don't know how to explain this, but I usually end up getting a clone out of it, is basically what I'm trying to say. You can use Shadow Meld to get a free clone. Shadow Meld in combination with adaptation usually means I can get a free clone, even when they're opening up on me with the clone. If they have the positioning advantage, I can still come out of it with the Cyclone. I know I don't need to be using adaptation as often as I do, but it's just handy. It used to be completely Alliance, but you moved to Horde to PvP with your hubby. Your heart feels so torn, but you're slowly being won over. Yeah, there's cool stories and cool races and cool cities on both sides of it. I like picking a side, so I've always kind of identified with Alliance, but they're both cool, and it's kind of nice to not pick a side so violently that you just can't play the other faction, or that you like get mad at other people at the other faction. That's just silly. We're all weirdos playing WoW here. So I got one hand in there because I actually found all the drums. And then we want to head south to talk to Ebonhorn. I feel like I've gotten no progress. Am I even remembering? I don't even have my WoW celebration package on. I'm not doing this right. This is wrong. Oh, is this the guy that wants? Oh, she wants me to escort her grandmother. Is this worth my? No, that's not worth my sanity. Your grandmother can find her own way home. I've done that before. I'm not being fooled again. You like the Alliances? Their buildings have walls, doors, and roofs. Yeah, they do have all of those things. You're right. No Man's Sky developer finally breaks silence to announce base building update 5 months too late for anyone who cares. Yeah, that was quite the shit show. Sometimes I'm glad that I really only play Blizzard games because I can keep up with everything. Like, there's still shit shows within Blizzard games, but you know, at least I know who I'm working with. I don't have to trust a developer I'm not familiar with. All right, there's your drums. That was not worth it. That was not worth it in the slightest. So we gotta head down this way? This should do it. This elevator takes far too long. Hazel, won't you feel a crisis of conscience when you PvP on your Horde killing alliance? No, not really. In Arena, I don't do a lot of Battlegrounds. I do almost exclusively Arena. Once I've got my honor talents together, basically. And, in Arena, you've always been able to be put against the same or the opposite faction. Faction never mattered. It's not so much Horde versus Alliance as it is yellow team versus green team. So, it's not gonna bother me. I've killed Alliance a lot. It doesn't really matter if I'm doing it as a troll or as something else. Oh, we're gonna head out this way. Except Nelm's old Nelf buildings don't have walls. Must get cold in there. Yeah, and the Night Elf area, like Teldrassil, always seemed to me like it would be kind of chilly. Like, it's at a very high elevation. You're on top of that big tree. You'd think it would get kind of cold up there, but I guess they just don't really mind. Maybe they just all... no, they're not all druids. They can't all turn into cats and be warm. Maybe some of them turn into bears because they're druids, and the rest of them just, like, find a bear and then just, like, snuggle up underneath the bear. And they just have, like, designated cuddle partners. That'd be pretty cool. Where are we going, Ebonhorn? What should we be doing? I should turn on dialogue. Do I have dialogue sound on? I don't think I do. I always turn on interface options when I'm going for sound. You'd think after 8 years of this game. Oh, no, I do. Dialogue. There we go. Oh, God. I don't think I need to be attacking that. Was I supposed to sneak around that? Oh, no, there's so many of them. I'm just going to follow Ebonhorn and hope nothing bad happens to me. This looks like a cold-blooded killer. I mean, I'm just healing people. My friends are the ones doing the killing. I don't often get killing blows. Sometimes I'll throw out like a little bit of a moonfire. But I'm really just out there trying to keep my friends alive. That's not violent at all. About to go down the elevator and then it suddenly goes down, leaving you too far and you fall down the elevator problems. I never really had that issue just because druids can shift into cat form and you'll take reduced falling damage. You still take damage, but it's not as much. It's not enough to kill you, basically. And then on my priest, I just have levitate keybound, but I did have an issue, actually, where I was trying to levitate a friend, and I had macroed my levitate to only cast on me because I was having issues with it casting on my combat ally. And I was trying to I was like, he jumped off the cliff because he thought I was just gonna levitate him, and I told him I wasn't ready yet, and he jumped off anyways. And I was like, dude, I'm going through my spellbook, I don't have it ready, I haven't macroed. He's like, oh god. And I think I eventually pulled it out in time and got it cast on him, but it's tricky. But yeah, I used to just die falling. I would jump off something because I thought I could levitate myself, but I would be targeting my combat ally, and I didn't have the presence of mind to press escape enough to drop that combat ally target to actually cast levitate on myself. So I'd just be levitating my ally, and he's just like floating along, like, oh, how you doing, man? And I'd just be like plummeting to my death because I levitated the wrong person. Cuddle partners sound great, especially if it was a bear. I've always wanted to cuddle with a bear, but not like I wouldn't actually do it because obviously bears are not safe to cuddle with, and they probably don't want to cuddle with me. They've got, you know, bear problems to deal with. But if there was like a fantasy world where you have like a friendly animal that's like bonded with you and you innately understand each other, and I could cuddle with a bear, that would be pretty freaking sweet. So I feel like being a night elf, just cuddling with a bear for once at night in Teldrassil, just like in a field somewhere, that's like a weird druid fantasy.
Watch over you.
Interface from going for sound every time. Yeah. You also know your partner with kill steals. It's really funny when in battle. Well, it's not funny. It's kind of terrible. But sometimes like especially if they needed the kill for something, like a warrior that's trying to proc his whatever the warrior thing they have, and I just like snipe the kill with Moonfire, and he's like, I needed a heal. I was like, but I needed to Moonfire. It was like really important. What if you didn't kill him? What if your giant execute didn't kill him? Changing to cat form never stopped you dying in the lifts in Shatrath. That sucks. I never spent a lot of... I never went to Outland without being able to fly. Because I started in Wrath, by the time I got to Outland, I was always able to fly around there. So, that was never... I never had to do that. But they made me just too tall. Hi, Hazel. By the way. Hello. I got weird. A little weird. A little weird. Is my only option for exploring this vault just to kill like a bunch of scorpions? I think that's what we're doing. I think we're just killing every scorpion that we can see. On your Frost DK, you scream at them all the time. Like, I need my proxy, yeah. Oh, that's funny, because I actually play with a warrior and a Frost DK, so I'm probably depriving both of them of stuff they actually need. But it's threes. I mean, if you kill somebody, you're not gonna lose, usually. 9 times out of 10, if you get a kill, you're usually fine. Not even 9 times out of 10, like... 19 times out of 20. Maybe even better than that. You almost always win. You made a pally, you've been doing Ret because you're a prot, you were getting too obsessed with WoW. You tank, you spend a lot of time resurrecting and boss fights. That's interesting that Ret doesn't have that same problem for you. But I guess if you're trying to like one-man boss fights, that can be kind of a thing to get into. I have problems focusing when I get like, I'm either usually really into arena or not into it at all. I go back and forth. And when I get bitten by that arena bug and I like need to play, it's really hard for me to do other stuff. Like, it's hard for me to focus because I'll be thinking, well, I need to do this thing to my UI. I want to be able to track this thing. What if I just do these skirmishes to like check this thing out? Or I've been having problems with this comp. Why do I watch this video again and try and figure out this and then maybe practice this a couple times? And I just like, I want to work on it all the time. And it's a problem because I'll be like trying to work or do something else or sleep or whatever, and I just can't. I get a little bit too focused on it, but hopefully it dies down a little bit so I can get a little work done, because what ends up happening is I just like spend all day just like being distracted, not really getting any work done, but also not PvPing because it's work time, and then at the end of the day I just have to work late because I didn't finish anything. I always had a problem with this quest because I never quite understood what I needed to do. I think I just gotta... I think we're... Alright, so that's good for that. We got our order resources, which is good. And then we're done. That's good. Figured it out. Find an age. Sure thing, buddy. Oh. It's kind of annoying how you can't pick up quests when you're in combat. There was one area I was in the other day where actually the quest giver was following you. So she was in like a cave with you. And I'm pretty sure this was also High Mountain. And mobs were spawning so quickly that I couldn't actually talk to her and pick up her next quest fast enough before another thing spawned to me. I had to drag her out like really far out of the way so that I could find a spot where I could actually get out of combat long enough to get her quest, because stuff just kept spawning on me. You suck at PvP, so you stay far away from it. I suck pretty bad too, and I used to suck really, really bad. But you just gotta, I mean, if it's not fun for you, then absolutely, there's no reason to do it. WoW PvP is not even like that big of a thing as far as esports goes. It doesn't really get representation at any tournaments aside from BlizzCon. There's no money in it, and there's not really a whole lot of like prestige involved. Like if you really want to spend time getting good in an online game for like the prestige of it, you'd be better off with something like Overwatch League or even Hearthstone. But if you have fun with it, but you're just scared because you just don't feel like doing it because you feel like you're bad, there are always people that are worse than you, and it's okay to not be super amazing at it. There's like, WoW is a hard game because there's so much going on, and to be really, really good at PvP, there's a lot of things that you want to keep track of, and it's just something that gets better with practice. But that goes with anything. Nobody's good at anything the first time, and if they are, then they're weird. It's perfectly okay to just suck at something for a long time. Suck at something's the first step to being kind of good at something, which is the first step to being really good at something. You just gotta keep doing it. I don't know how I banished Deathwing by just, like, scratching him a little bit, but I scratched his belly and he went away, so I must have won. Do you keep up with the lore of WoW? You've read the books by Christy Golden. Knowing the lore of the land has always made you appreciate the game more. I have a couple of the books. I got the Shattering, and then I got the War Crimes book. I'm not a huge fan of the writing of the Warcraft books. Like, they're perfectly well written, but I feel like they've made them very, very accessible to the point where they're a little bit condescending in the way they're written. So they have a hard time really holding my attention. I don't super keep up with WoW lore. I keep up a little bit. I keep up with, like, major plot points, and I have a vague idea of who all the characters are. Because I think that's the real strong point of WoW lore. Like, the actual plot of everything feels a little bit silly to me. And it's not necessarily the best storytelling in the whole world, but the characters, Blizzard knows how to make really good characters, and the characters and the way they interact with each other, that's, I think, where the best lore WoW is. So I'm a big fan of my favorite characters, but I don't really follow the story, like, super hardcore. How to deal with Mistweaver Monks as a Resto Druid with DK partner. It's hard. It's really hard. Mistweaver Monks just have so much mobility that it's very hard to catch up to them. And I don't really have a great answer for you, but what I will say is that something that helped me was once they, like, you'll find that they push in on you, right? So they use some ability to get on top of you, they in-cap you, and they leg sweep you. And what you can kind of do is, if you can, like, hold them there, like, maybe you see him running in, and you catch him in, like, an Ursul's Vortex, or maybe you decide to, like, trinket the in-cap with the leg sweep while he's still on top of you so you can get a stun on him or something. You can use those opportunities where he's pushed in on you and use his mobility to CC him, or to have your partner swap onto him, because once he's blown his mobility getting to you, he's not going to have a whole lot for getting away. And you've got a little window of like 10 to 20 seconds there where you can do some damage to him and get some pressure. But it's very hard to catch up. I've tried doing the thing where, like, like the two DPS are just fighting each other, and I'm just running around after the Mistweaver trying to get some CC, and if he's just running away from me, it's very hard to catch up. I'm losing too much time running after him. So it's hard. Mistweaver Monks are hard for you to deal with as a Resto Druid. Good evening. I hope you're having a good day. You love your videos and streams. Fangirl moment over as you were. No worries. Hazel's the reason I love my Druid for PvP instead of playing my Mistweaver. Thank you, Hazel. Shucks. I don't know if that's the right call. I think Mistweavers are better than Druids. Well, I don't know if they're better than Druids right now. I think it really depends on what comp you're running and what rating bracket you're looking at. Like, right now I'm frustrated with Mistweavers because as a Druid they're hard to deal with, but I know Druids are also good in certain comps. Like, they still see representation at max level. Like, if I look right now at Arena Mate, I pull up Arena Mate, and I'm looking at... Can I look by spec? Like, class representation. There's title cutoffs, player activity graphs, maybe.
The whole time.
Class representation, spec representation. Okay, so... As of this month, this graphic is nuts. Mistweavers. So Mistweavers have higher representation than Resto Druids right now. Yeah, you see more Mistweavers on the ladder than you do Resto Druids, but Resto Druids are very slowly trending up. Lately. This is the graph I'm looking at. This may not be good data. But that's the graph that I was checking out. But yeah, you just gotta play whatever feels good to you, and you'll be able to go reasonably far with it. They're all pretty viable, except for Disc Priest. Disc Priest don't go very far in threes. Escape the vault. Okay, let's leave. Goodbye. Running. I'm assuming I just leave at this out here. Who's your favorite character? Anduin's my boy. I love Anduin. Probably because he had a pretty key role in the Shattering novel, and that was the one that I read. And because I really like his story is very cliche, but he just seems like a really good kid. And if anyone was like a real person, I'd be very impressed with how much effort he's been taking to do the right thing and to, you know, be a diplomat and do that correctly for like a 14-year-old, very impressive. And he's just a good kid. I want good things for Anduin. Assassination Rogue in Arena. You don't screw with Assass Rogues. How to deal with? You need to take Trinket. You need to take Trinket, like Gladiator's Medallion. You need Gladiator's Medallion. You cannot run Adaptation or Relentless against any rogue, actually, just because you get stunned into, you get blinded and you get sapped, and you have to sit them basically, because what they'll do is they'll bait your adaptation with a kidney shot or something, and then once your DRs go up, they'll just CC you for years. So you have to take Trinket. You need to save cooldowns for Vendetta. You need to use Ironbark when they use Vendetta on whoever they are currently Vendettaing. And then you got to be really careful to juke. They'll step kick you like all the time. They'll just like hop over to you and kick you even when they weren't in your face. So if you're close enough to be cycloning, they are close enough to kick you. And you just need to recognize when their kick cooldown's up and juke as if they were on you, even if they're not currently attacking you, because they can get over to you real fast. And even then it's hard. They're really strong right now. Damage dealt by Rake. Sure thing. See, Frost Relics. Frost Relics for days.
Our tribes stand as
Everywhere,
one.
man. Everywhere. Oh, that's a Blood Relic, actually. I lied. I lied.
Now that we stand
Speak with Mela. Sure thing.
we
To do that. Actually, we're almost at 105. I will have almost gotten one level. I can fly back there, right? Yeah.
What has the wind
I have almost
brought?
gotten one level for my 2 hours of leveling on stream. How to kite them? I don't know, they don't really go me much. Like, you want to... Typically, they won't stick to you for too long, just because, they'll have a hard time damaging you. Like, you want to be Guardian Affinity. I can't show you because I'm not rest right now, but you want to be Guardian Affinity. You want to sort of keep an eye on their Kidney Shot cooldown, and whether or not they've re-stealthed, because the things they can stun you with is they can stun you with Kidney Shot, and they stun you with Cheap Shot. And those are the two big ones. If there's a Feral Druid around, they can also bash you. So keep a track of what kind of stuns the enemy team has. And then you want to pre-shift into bear form once they're up. When you see them looking like they're going to stun you, you see him kind of walking towards you a little bit. You see him vanish and you think he's looking for a cheap shot. You want to be in bear form so you don't get stunned at a bear. So if you get stunned in bear and then you take like 5 seconds or so damage, you press Frenzied Regen. And you're going to be not unkillable, but it's not going to be worth their time to sit on you. You can, if they swap to you and you need to get them off you really quickly, you just you're in bear form. You can throw down Ursul's Vortex, and then you can either dash your way out of that, travel form your way out of that, or blink your way out of that if you're desperate. I like to use Ursul's Vortex and then blink next time they gap close. I like to use those as separate cooldowns because I feel like stacking them is kind of overkill. And that'll do for getting them off you once. After your Ursul's Vortex is gone, you don't really have a lot. You can put thorns on yourself and try to shift away with travel form, but for the most part, you just want to be bear and just tank the damage a little bit and have your partners peel off you. He's your favorite character too. You can't wait to see him actually lead the Alliance at some point soon. Yeah, who knows when we're actually going to see that. We're going to see where the story goes the next patches. But I want to see big things for Anduin. They can't kill him. They just killed his daddy. He's got plot armor for like at least an expansion or 2 now, right? Like they can't just toast him. They just vanish and stab you to death. Yeah, so if a rogue is vanished, it is very important that you get in state in combat. Like if there's another person in the arena that you can be moonfiring, you want to be doing that. You want to be staying in combat with like moonfires or healing somebody who's in combat, and then you want to be bear so that they can't cheap shot you out of form and just fuck you up. If the rogue's gone, you need to be on top of that, and it's hard. Like if they get saps on you, you're just like roasted. You're toast, because you have to hold your trinket for blind. Where do I want to go? Nesting Wary? I do enjoy Nesting Wary, but I feel like if we do the Blood Totem stuff, I'll be that much closer to getting to the Nelth Lair quest, and the Nelth Lair quest is where the real experience is, I think. So we'll probably like head up to the Witchwood. I think I actually have to run there because I don't know the flight points yet. I wouldn't quit telling them how to pee. Who else has gained 10 pounds since yesterday? I actually didn't eat that much. Like, I knew that there were so many different dishes there that I just took like a little bit of everything and I ate it all, and I was like, you know, this is a good amount of food. I think I'm done now. And it was good. It wasn't like stuffed. But I also wore jeans, which are not a very forgiving material to pant. And so that kind of contributed to me not overeating too much. Druid's new cat form is different color for Horde and Alliance? I don't know. I haven't really done any Pharaoh Alliance. I do know that it's red, like the basic one is red for Horde. I know you get different colors of them through unlocking artifact appearances, so it would be a little strange if they were different colors for Horde and Alliance, just because you would then be unlocking a different set of colors as each one, but it's possible. You remember when rogues could not sap animals? Oh man, that would have been great. I don't remember that. I didn't play back then. They can't just kill him. Fulgen War Chief on Monday, dead on Tuesday. Yeah, that's true. That's true, you're right. There is precedent. That's pretty upsetting. I think it's a little bit of denial when I'm saying they can't just kill them. They could, but I'm just gonna pretend they can't. Love your channel, Hazel. Thanks, Mark. I want to tell you that your videos are super informative and your voice is chill and easy to listen to. Aw, thanks. I get a lot of dissenting opinions about my voice, so it's always nice to hear that somebody doesn't mind it, because some people think it's kind of grating, but that's okay. You can't please everybody. Like it's literally impossible, especially on the internet. Oh, it's a foxflower. These make me money. So I don't completely understand the foxflower thing because I haven't done a whole lot of herbalism, but is there like I picked one once and a fox showed up and I like followed it around and got a bunch of extra foxflower. Does that happen every time? He does it. Does that happen every time or just sometimes? Because I waited for like a long time last time and there's like no fox. Is that just a proc? Is there like a chat message that tells me that there's going to be a fox coming I should wait for, or what? You find survival hunters hard to heal through. Survival hunters are annoying because I cannot get them off me. Like if a survival hunter decides he wants to stick to me, I can't do anything about it. He just, like, I'm shifting and I'm Ursul's vortexing and I'm using my gap closers and he always seems to get back on me and I can't. A lot of people, you can put a slow on them. Like, I can put thorns up and then travel form away, and after shifting a couple times into different animal forms, I've usually got at least a little bit of distance. But with survival hunters, if they're on me, they're just on me, and I just have to live my life as a bear and hope nobody needs healing. It's kind of rough. I haven't really sorted out how to deal with that properly yet. Keep in mind, when I'm answering arena questions, I've queued like 3 times this season. I am not very experienced, and I'm probably not the person who wants answering your questions. I'm just doing my best over here. Most of my experience is from Warlords. I don't have a whole lot of Legion experience. We're like 1803s now. After a couple nights of queuing, and like I'm like 2102s, but I'm by no means good. You have yet to see it. It's a proc. Okay, so it's not every time. On the internet, no one knows you're a dog. I mean, unless you're streaming. It's pretty hard to hide the fact that you're a dog if you're actually live streaming. You hear a howl when it appears. Oh, okay. I will have to try and remember to listen to that then. Or listen for that. What's up, Hammond? Oh yeah, I wasn't going here. I was going... I'll catch up with you later. I was trying to get up here. So I need to actually get back across the river, into that cave, out of that cave, up to the Witchwood. I'm probably just going to get the flight point, actually, and then wrap up my stream, because it's almost 5 o'clock here. Oh, is that herb? No, it's still here. It's still here. It was just something on top of it. There's a lot of foxflower here. Is foxflower the herb of High Mountain, or am I just getting really lucky? Because I found like a lot of it. I thought it was kind of rare. I thought it was like a not an all the time thing. I was listening. I didn't hear a howl. But there was another one like over here. Was it down here? I feel like it was. I need to cross the river anyways. I do think it's really cool how they made like the flowing river thing happen. It's annoying when you're trying to cross it, but it's neat. It's so great when it happens in Starlight Roses and you get like 6 of them from the mob. Oh, so it's not just foxflower then. Oh, that's nice. Oh yeah, because when I've been picking Dreamleaf, every now and then I get that flower that spawns. Oh, I understand. Yeah, for whatever reason, I thought the foxflower thing was like always going to be foxes. I don't know why I thought it was going to be different. Herb of High Mountain. Okay, well then I guess I'm not that lucky. Have you seen the new class mounts? Yeah, they look really good. I'm really excited. They're not until like 7.2 though when they add flying, so I try not to get too excited just because it's going to be a little bit. You heard a rumor that the real Hazel is the cat. Well, I mean, you're just on to me now. I was going to see if my cat was in here, but my cat and my dog have both left me. They must be in the other room. Sometimes I get weirded out when I talk to my computer for like a long time. They put up with it when it's just like a little bit for a video, but every now and then they're just like, you know, she's been talking to nothing for like a long while. Maybe we should just leave her alone. The rivers are cool. I don't remember if they've done that with like the moving water. Like they've had visuals of moving water back in like Grizzly Hills, but I don't know if they've done it where the water actually moves you for like such like a long distance. I like the little chest that you can get where that you have to like wait for it to wash by in the river. Or it's just like a normal chest. There's nothing special in it. It's just got like the artifact power or whatever in it, but it's cute. What class will we level next? Nothing. Once I have my, like, I have my priest main, so I'm good in PvE. I have my alliance druid. This is gonna be my horde druid, and then I'm done. I don't think I'm gonna level anything else for legion. Basically, it takes too long to level. It takes too long to catch up artifact power. It takes too long to get honor talents. It takes too long to get geared. I'm just gonna play the stuff I have. I have a lot of characters at 100, and I have. Like my alliance server is just filled with options of stuff that I could play, but this is the last character I'm gonna level in Legion. I'm pretty sure. I mean, maybe later in the expansion, like in 7.2 or 7.3, if I'm PvPing and I really want to just like mess around a little bit on another healer, I may level like my Mistweaver, maybe. But this is gonna be it for me for a while. Rip for whose class mount can fly. They can all fly. They've confirmed that even if they didn't show it flying in the video, every single epic class mount can fly. They're specifically designed to fly because it's when they're bringing it flying. Grizzly Hills log ride. That's true. There was the log ride. That's a really fun thing to do. Anyways, it's 5 o'clock. I am going to probably look into starting dinner. I don't want to cook. I have some leftovers. Maybe I'll just have leftovers. I'll figure something out. But in any case, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. The whole VoD of the stream is going to be up tomorrow morning at some point after I wake up. I'll publish the VoD. If you missed any part of it, you want to catch up. There is no Sunday video. I did not make one, and I'm not going to just because I'm spending a little bit of extra time with my family this weekend. So nothing on Sunday, but I should be back on Monday with a new video, and I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.